Hi guys, welcome to Taste to Explore. My name is Darlene, and today, my friends, I am bringing you a classic yellow cake recipe. Now, I am sure most of you are able to get the yellow cake box mix that you find in your local grocery store. Well, today I'm going to be showing you how to make that from scratch without using that. Now, I am sure that you have most of these ingredients on hand, so why not make it from scratch? It's really easy. It tastes just as good, if not better, because I personally feel that homemade is much tastier, and it's simple. It's really just but a few ingredients, so I'm going to walk you through the very basic ingredients to get this started. Okay guys, now let's begin. Right here I have 2 sticks of unsalted butter at room temperature. This must be really soft. I have here 1 cup and 1/4 of buttermilk, and I do have a substitution if you can't find that in your local supermarket. Right here I have 2 cups and a half of all-purpose flour. Then over here in the corner I have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have 2 teaspoons and a half of baking powder, and that's it for right here. Then I have 1 cup and a half of sugar, and then over here I have 3 whole eggs, and that is all you're gonna need to get this started. Alright guys, first things first, let's preheat our oven to 350, and now in a big bowl we're going to cream together the softened butter. Okay, make sure you leave this out in room temperature. It needs to be really soft, just the way you see now. And then you can use a bowl. I mean, I'm not going to use a hand blender or anything like that. You can use a bowl. Really simple. Look how easy this is going to be. Watch. So I'm going to place in my sugar, and we're going to mix this until well combined. Okay, after you cream together the sugar and butter, making sure everything is well incorporated, then we're going to put in the eggs. You're going to put in, I'm going to put it one at a time in a separate dish, just so that way I don't get no bad egg or any shells in my final product. And then with each egg I'm just going to mix to combine, and I'm going to continue doing this to all 3 eggs, beating 1 egg in at a time. Okay, so I finished beating in my last egg, and I did 1 at a time until now. And make sure that your eggs are in room temperature. Very important when it comes to baking. It can't be cold right out of the refrigerator. Just leave it on the counter for like 20 minutes, a half an hour, just so that way it can be at room temperature, and then you get better results when your ingredients are at room temperature. Now, as you mix this through, I don't think you can see it, but it looks curdled, and that is fine. Don't you worry about that. That is a-okay. Baking a cake has a lot of scientific techniques. If you've ever done a homemade cake before, you'll know that it's not as, it's simple, but it could be a little tricky at times. I forgot to mention about the vanilla extract, so I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons. Although you can put in as much as you want, because vanilla is so yummy, and it makes all your baked goods taste so good. So a good brand of vanilla extract, and just Mix it in. And now I am going to get ready to put my dry ingredients and my wet ingredients. Very simple. No fuss, no muss. You can put in a half of this at a time, just so that way you don't get a lot of clumpy messes, because you can't overwork your batter. You really can't. If you have some lumps, chances are just leave it like that. You just want to incorporate some in here, a little at a time, to easily smooth it out. And then that's it, because if you overwork your batter, the flour releases its gluten, and therefore it's going to turn out to be a tough cake. We don't want that. We want it moist and delicious. So work it through with small steps like this. So I pretty much did it in 2 steps, and then that's absolutely fine. Alright. And just mix until everything is incorporated. We're not gonna worry about the lumps, okay? Alright, after you mix through and you see no more of the dough, the flour lingering around, everything is combined. It's okay if it has lumps, that's okay. Right here I have a 9x13 pan coated with some non-stick spray, and as well I put in parchment paper just so it's easy to get out. That's all. You don't have to use parchment paper. It's totally up to you. And you don't have to use this big pan. You can use cupcake liners. You can use whatever you want. I mean, I'm making my cake a bit like home style. So if you want to make it this way, you can. Or if you want to put it in some 2 round 8-inch cake pans, you could too. You can make it however way you want. I just wanted to make mine a home style, you know, easy, simple, no fuss, no muss, simple yellow cake. That is all. So I'm just making sure that every area is even through. Make sure you tap it to make sure all the air bubbles are not there. After doing this, make sure that your oven is preheated on 350, and I'll see you right back when this is all done. Alright guys, now let's begin. I just finished taking my cake out the oven, and look at it. It looks magnificent. If you see a little hole right there, I had tested my cake to see if it was cooked in the middle, and it's perfect. It baked for 25 minutes, so you're going to want to check it out between 25 and 30 minutes depending on your oven, but it is totally done and perfect. Now I'm just going to move it in to a platter. A really easy, nice platter. I put the parchment paper because it's so easy to take out, but you don't have to. So I'm just going to remove it like so, gently, as I possibly can. Scoot it over, like so. And look at it, beautiful. It is about half an hour. I took it out the oven. It's about half an hour. So it's cooled off, slightly warm, but it still can come off of the paper perfectly. And see how nice and firm it is. Okay guys, so that's it. Our cake is done. It's beautiful. You are going to love this cake. It is soft, it is fluffy. Now let's do a taste test. Okay my friends, so I want to cut a little piece right here in a corner so you can see. in a little piece. Try not to make a mess. And look at that. Look how fluffy those crumbs are. And look, barely any mess. Perfect. Soft. See, it's soft. Beautiful. Now let's do a taste test. Alright my friends, now let's do a taste test. And like I told you before, I like to make, when I make my yellow box cake mixes, sometimes I do, sometimes I make it from scratch. I often like to eat it without the frosting. I hope that doesn't sound crazy, but I do. And I wonder who is like that too. You let me know. Leave me a comment below. And look at this. Look how soft it is. I mean, I love this cake. Love it, love it, love it. It's a wonderful recipe to have. You're gonna absolutely love it. And I can't wait to give a taste test. It's moist. It's soft and fluffy. Delicious. Simple. Delicious. So delicious. So easy. Now friends, I told you when it comes down to baking, cakes are like a science project. You have to be precise with your ingredients and you have to have all the right ones. Now the most important component here is the buttermilk. The buttermilk provides so much moisture and a soft crumb in this whole cake that is not going to be the same, but you can substitute it for whole milk. Granted, you can also substitute it with my buttermilk substitution, which I will leave you the link below in case you run out of buttermilk or if your local supermarket doesn't have it. But essentially, buttermilk really does the trick. Now you can use cake flour. That is also an ingredient that you can play around with, whether you want to use all-purpose flour or cake flour. But in this case, you won't miss a beat because it tastes delicious even with all-purpose flour. So never mind about that. Save your pennies because cake flour can be a little expensive. But nonetheless, this is good cake and I'm going to enjoy it to the last drop. This cake is absolutely delicious. You have to give it a try. And thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure having you cook along with me. Make this. Leave me a comment below in whatever recipe you want me to make. And I'll see you again, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.